everybody, welcome back to my channel, The Eclectic Reader. So today I would like to talk about the books that I have been reading. So most recently I got into cozy mysteries. These are mysteries that take place in a small town usually, and the protagonist is usually a woman, not necessarily but often a woman, and she's our sleuth. She's an amateur who, for a variety of reasons, gets involved in the investigation. She's not a police officer, though she might be dating a police officer. That's actually a trope I don't really like, and it is a trope that is in the first of the 3 books that I've read. So the first one is The Anteater of Death by Betty Webb. Takes place in a small town in a private zoo. Now, I love books set in zoos, and in fact, I am considering writing a cozy mystery for NaNoWriMo. This will be my first time writing a book at all. I am not a creative writer. I do academic writing, but I'm really considering writing a murder mystery, and it would take place in a zoo because this is an environment that I know very, very well. So that's what really got me interested in The Anteater of Death. Our protagonist is a zookeeper whose family is quite wealthy. Her father had gotten busted for some fraud and now was living, I believe, in Mexico. Her mother is also really wealthy, and the zookeeper takes care of anteaters as well as primates. But one day she discovers a body in the anteater enclosure, and this is the body of the head of the zoo, the guy who founded the zoo. He's found dead in the animal enclosure. And so our sleuth gets involved, and she tries to figure out who committed the crime. How did this man end up in the enclosure? Like I said, I really don't like the trope of the sleuth dating or having dated the police officers. Her story is that she once dated this man who's a police officer, but then she was forced to marry someone who was much wealthier. But because she used to date him, he can kind of use her to get some information about the zoo as he's trying to investigate the murder. It's a good book, but it wasn't interesting enough for me to continue. But it was a great introduction to the cozy mystery genre. And so after that, I read Buried to the Brim by Jen McKinley, which I loved. Basically, this story takes place both in a hat shop in London. Our protagonist is actually from the US, but she now lives with her relatives in the UK, and she helps run this hat shop, and they sell hats to like the royal family. I mean, they sell hats to very wealthy, powerful individuals. And she's engaged to this man whose aunt comes one day with her corgi. I love corgis. And she's entering him into this dog competition. So she asks for a hat to be made for the dog because every year for the last 3 or 4 years, the dog has been a runner-up, but never the winner. So she's hoping that if the dog is wearing a hat, that will somehow make him look better and he will win finally. But then she also angers one of the sponsors for this dog show, and she accuses him of having poisoned her dog or attempted to poison her dog in the previous year because the dog food quality was really bad and had made her dog really sick. And so she confronts this sponsor, and then it basically says something along the lines of, what if somebody were to try to kill you? And of course, he's then found dead, and so now this woman's fiance's aunt is being accused of having murdered him. And so that's how our sleuth gets involved. And that one was wonderful. I hope to read more by Jen McKinley. I know that she also has a series of books that take place in a library or a bookshop. I forget which one. So she has bookshop or library cozies, and then also this hat shop cozy. I want to continue reading in the hat shop cozy series, though. It's really good. I would recommend that. And then I'm almost done with Feral Attraction by Eileen Watkins. So far, so good. Our sleuth in this story is a cat groomer. She basically owns a babysitting facility for cats. So they board cats, they groom cats, and she gets dragged into this controversy about feral cats at this retirement home. where the mother of one of her friends lives. But this woman is out of town, and that mother's friend, who is a huge animal rights activist, is found dead. So there's some concern that maybe this woman was actually murdered, and that it has something to do with the controversy surrounding the feral cats in the community. A lot of the residents just want the cats exterminated. A few who support Sabrina, who is the woman who was, well, murdered. But there's a lot of controversy about what to do with the cats, whether, like Sabrina suggests, the cats should be trapped, neutered, and then returned, or whether they should be exterminated. And our sleuth thinks that perhaps Sabrina was murdered because of her activism. She also has a whole history of feminist activism that may have also made her a target. It's a really good book. I know there are other books in the series, so I do look forward to reading more after Feral Attraction. So those are the cozies that I've been reading. Like I said, I am considering writing a cozy mystery myself this November. We'll see if I have the time to do it, but I have somewhat of a plot in mind. Let me know what you have been reading, if you really like cozies, what your favorite cozies are, because I'm always looking for new cozies to get into. Thank you everybody for watching, and I will talk to you later. Bye now.